love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 69th installment of The Bobby Kudo Show.
And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal.
Welcome everybody on this 4th of July special episode of The Bobby Kudo Show. I am here with my great friend, Joe Costa. Welcome, buddy.
Thank you.
How's it going?
Good. How about
Good.
yourself?
Thanks for being here, bro.
No problem.
You were partying last night? Dude, most people aren't listening. You know why they're not listening? Because they're hungover right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, everybody's hungover. Everybody's hungover. We're going to cut this out real quick here. Let's get this done. So I want to get started, dude. I'm excited. Listen, let's talk about it, right? So we discussed a little bit about doing this. We weren't sure we were going to do it. It all kind of came to fruition. We decided, hey, let's get a show together. You and I have been talking about some really important things, right? You know, You're on Facebook. You're posting a lot of stuff. People are receptive to that. And so I want to get started right away. So let's do that. So welcome, everybody. Thanks for being here. I know you might be a little hungover today. And we're going to talk about some really great things today. And a lot of it is all really related to the betterment of your life. Like just, you know, maybe taking that next step and realizing that nothing's changing, right? Like if you continue to do the same things every day and expect different results, nothing's going to change. And Einstein said it best. It's the absolute definition of insanity, right? Just doing the same thing and expecting different results. Right. For me personally, I can speak from my own perspective and my own experience. You know, today, day 33 of the 75 Hard Challenge. And I will tell you that this process for me has been ebb and lows, you know, going like, first couple of days and then realizing that maybe I made a mistake. And then you start to question yourself. And it's like, it's all these different emotions. But I will tell you that 33 days in, I have never been more clear. My life has never been more focused. And I've never been more driven. You know, I've surrounded myself with just amazing people. I continue to do that. And I'm grateful for that. You know, I get up in the morning and I have a plan. You know, I get up in the morning and I can't wait to start my day. Even this morning, I got up, did my first workout. And I was telling you earlier, Joe, I put on my 50-pound backpack and I climbed the hill. And when I got to the top of the hill, the sun was shining today, man. And I don't know how many times I've seen the sun come up, but today it was exceptionally bright. You know what I mean? And I'm very grateful for that. And I know that you're a big part of that, Joe. And you know who you are. You're out there and you know who you are. And I really appreciate all the support and all of the amazing energy that everyone's been throwing my way, including, you know, friends. I was hanging out with friends yesterday. You had a party, right? Is that your house or you would go to your parents' house? Or?
No, I got a party today. My mother-in-law's birthday.
Oh, okay. All right. And yesterday you were just chilling out by the fire, just having some beers? Or?
Yeah, we just went out and did things.
Yeah.
Just the family.
You had the kids?
Like
or
that.
Kids?
Yeah.
Nice. So just a couple of Coronas, nothing crazy, huh? How were those Coronas? Were they good?
No, I had a Budweiser.
Oh, Budweiser. I see. I'm thinking Corona because that's what I wanted. I'm 33 days with no alcohol whatsoever.
Yeah.
And no sugar either. I haven't had coffee. You know, coffee wasn't part of my plan, but that first day that I started it, I realized I have to drink a gallon of water every day. So when I got up in the morning, the first thing I did was I grabbed my water and I started drinking water. And I was going to go push the button on the coffee maker. If you go in my kitchen, it's still the same coffee and the same water. I have not touched it. It's been 33 days that's been sitting there. I haven't even looked at it.
Uh-oh.
And really, the reason behind it, Joe, it's not even the coffee. It's the sugar.
Yeah.
Like I just decided that I was going to cut out white sugar altogether. And I've never felt better, bro. Like my appetite, just the way that I feel, the energy that I have, it really literally has changed everything about me, my perspective. And I think even the decisions that I make are so clear. You know, it's not a matter of questioning the things that I'm doing or the things that I've done. It's a matter of just organizing it. You know, I get up in the morning, okay, what am I doing? What's first, second, third? You know what I mean? And it's not even so much, oh, should I be doing this or should I not be doing it? I'm not doing anything I shouldn't be doing.
You don't realize it until it's over and done with.
Right.
And just the stuff that you choose to eat, put in your body, you don't realize how much it'll cloud your judgment.
It really does, bro. It really, and you know, I'm I'm not even going to pretend like I like alcohol. I like to drink, and I'm not saying that I'm never going to drink again. After 75 days, I got a couple of days to go. 42 days.
The 6-pack, here it comes.
Oh, absolutely! Like I'm going to celebrate. I can't wait. You know what I mean? It's probably going to be a fun night, but I can't wait for that. But I got to tell you, in this process, and who knows after the case, I don't know that I'll ever drink or consume things like that ever again. Like because I know the effect that it has on my body. And the thing is you don't realize it until you actually do it. Like I had to get here to realize, okay, these are the things that are making me feel
right.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not feeling, and
it can make you feel sluggish.
Yeah, really. And and even, I would partake, you know what I mean? Here, hanging out with friends, even that, like really kind of just minimizing that, and almost like, hey, if I'm hanging out with people and maybe somebody might pass something around, maybe, you know what I mean? But for me to actually go out of my way to, it's kind of like, who's drinking alone? You know what I mean?
Right.
It's almost the same thing. Like, it's the same idea. But dude, I'm
an alcoholic.
Yeah, you're really, that's kind of.
Start drinking by yourself.
Yeah. You know what's funny too is I'm part of the 75 Hard Challenge, like group on Facebook, and somebody actually asked, is non-alcoholic beer? I'm like,
it says it right in it.
It's just the idea, like you're separating yourself from that. You know what I mean? The temptation of that and being mentally strong. Right. People will always try to figure out.
Well, that's just like people that try to quit smoking.
Yeah.
It's that, it's the quitting, but it's the having that cigarette in their mouth. So they gotta justify putting a lollipop or whatever, chew gum or whatever.
Yeah, because you gotta break the habit of moving it, having it in your hand.
You're so used to putting that in,
Do you think that's probably one of the biggest problems, bro? Is that people become so used to doing the same thing all the time? Like, I gotta get up in the morning, I gotta get in line at Dunkin' Donuts, I gotta wait 45 minutes for a dirty cup of water, and get my donut, and then drive off to wherever the hell I'm rushing to get there and try to start. And so you become this, this perpetual kind of existence where that's all you do every day. Right. You're looking.
You got to stop looking at it as I gotta do it.
Right.
Just be happy that you're able to do it.
Yeah. But you know what I think it is? I think it's years and years and years of conditioning. I think it's really literally years and years and years of conditioning where we're brought up, your parents, Joe, we're Portuguese. So our parents are like, listen, if you have a job, you're successful. You need to get a job. Like it was never, hey, listen, take your money and invest your money into things that are going to pay you dividends. No, it's getting into the cog, right? And just doing what everybody else is doing and being part of the machine. And, again, some people, excuse me, that's their life and that's what they want to do. And that's okay. Like if you're okay with that, then that's fine. And some people are really successful and have jobs that they really, really love. And that's okay. That's all good things. But ultimately, did you make that choice? Did you choose to do that? Or are you continuing to do something just because you feel like Joe, you've made some major changes in your life, right? You said to yourself, look, I'm doing the same thing every day. I'm working for a company that I don't feel is appreciating my efforts. So you just said to yourself, I'm going to change. I'm going to go somewhere where I know I can get work-life balance. I can spend time with my family and I can make a decent wage. You know what I mean? And I'm going to enjoy what I'm doing. And that's what you did.
Right.
But how long does it take to get to that? How many years did you suffer, bro, before you actually, you were bleeding out?
Right. It took a while.
We talked in episode 68. We talked about it. You were like, to the point where my wife's like, hey, man.
Yeah, you're changing.
And you're like, wow.
Your attitude changes, your demeanor, everything changes.
So, to my point here, do you think that really is a core reason why a lot of these relationships are like literally falling apart? Because I'm kind of segueing into what we're going to talk about today. And Joe, you're really vocal on Facebook, and we talked about you sharing a lot of these comments and stories that really make people think twice about their situations and like their current state of mind, and to the point where you're literally changing people's lives, or saving people's lives. And sometimes, and I'll say this now, I've never realized the power of reading something until I started the challenge, because I'm required to read a minimum of 10 pages a day of some type of self-help book. I find myself reading 30 pages a day now. You know what I mean? When I started, it was like, let me count that again. No, 9. I got to read one more. Now I'm walking more because I walk and read at the same time. My morning workout consists of me walking and reading. I'm walking for 45 minutes. I'm reading for 45 minutes. And at some time, if I want to finish, I'll go another 15 minutes because I want to finish the chapter.
Right.
So in reading those words, I find there are moments that really, really resonate with me.
Yeah.
And are powerful moments. And I can almost remember every single one of those moments where you read something and you're like, wow, that's me. I feel that. And it empowers me. You know what I mean? And it empowers me, or it makes me realize that I was missing something. something very, very important. And then to read it or to think that I am isolated, like nobody else feels the way that I do.
Yeah.
Nobody else feels
There's
this way.
There's a lot of people out there that feel that
man.
way. Mm-hmm.
You know, my last book that I read was 13 Things Mentally Strong People Don't Do. And from the first sentence of that book, it captivated me. And I couldn't put the book down because everything that it said, I was guilty of doing. So I was not a mentally strong person. Joe, you know me. I've been a leader.
Even though you think you are,
right? I've been a manager. I've led people. I've done all those things, right? And I've been that strong individual for everyone else. Mm-hmm. But at what cost, brother?
For you, right?
At what cost?
And that's what I try to spread out is you got to be making choices for yourself now.
Right.
You know, what makes you happier?
Yes.
It took a while for me to learn that. Like I said in the last episode, the relationship I was in, I didn't realize it, but the girl that I was with was changing me. Right? Hairstyle, clothes, friends to hang out with, who to hang out with, where to go, where to do this, and stuff like that. I became neutral to it. You know, I was like, oh, this is it. I'm happy, whatever. Boom, boom.
Right.
But once that relationship was over, you didn't realize how miserable you were in that relationship until it was over.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So after that, I was like, you know what? Never again. Never again. I'm more happier being who I am.
Right.
So that's where it is. If everybody can just get to that point and just be happy for you.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Make your choices that works for you.
Right.
And what makes you happy. Don't ever change for somebody else.
No, it's true. It's true.
You know? Don't ever change your...
Joe, you don't even realize it, though.
You don't, because you come so numb to it.
Yes.
Because it eases in, you know? And then it's all of a sudden, that's life.
Right.
You know? You don't realize how bad it is.
Right.
So, you know, after that, it was... I met my wife now, Michelle. But when we were going out, I never changed. I stayed me. I wore my clothes the way I was. Damn. I said the things that I've said.
But Joe, that's
I was
who
always
she
joking
fell in love
around.
with, right?
Exactly.
That's
it doesn't. You know, you may go out with somebody and they may like you at first, but then after a while, they're not going to like your attitude or the person you are, and they're going to try and mold you into something that they want.
Yeah.
Don't mold yourself into something that somebody else wants.
Right.
You know.
Right.
I would never mold her into anything that she's not going to be, because she's going to be happier being her.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you're going to be happier being you.
But you almost wonder if that's something that happens unconsciously.
It does.
You know what I'm saying? Like
it does.
So you see something that you like in someone, whether they be attractive, right?
Right.
Well, he's attractive.
Yep.
And because you've heard this, I can make him what I want him to be.
Right.
Right. I can take his bad habits. Right. He likes to hang out with his friends. He likes to drink. I'm going to change that. He likes to do. So you literally strip away, and this goes in both directions. So you literally strip away those little nuances that you don't like, but those are things that they like.
Right.
And rather than embrace that and say, hey, look, this is who we are. This is who we met. You tend to take that away from somebody. And then before you know it, Joe, you're wearing different clothes, you have a different haircut, you're speaking differently, and you know what? You don't recognize anybody in the room.
Right.
Your friends are gone.
Right.
Jen, are you there? Are you on the phone?
Yeah.
There you are. You're so quiet. You're so quiet. Yeah, I was getting to you. Joe doesn't know you're there, but I just wanted to make sure I got to you real quick. How are you today?
I'm great. I was calling to wish you a happy 4th.
Thank you. Everybody for the audience, Jennifer Dillon, my long dear friend, lifelong friend, is on the phone. Thank you for calling the show today. Really appreciate it. So what's going on? You partying today? You hanging out? What's going on?
Well, I'm going to Sydney's, my daughter's, today. We had a party yesterday.
Nice.
Not we here at my house, but at my brother and sister-in-law's house. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just enjoying the long holiday weekend.
I think everybody is. I mean, the weather's just amazing, right? I mean, if you're in New England,
you hear the birds in the background.
You can hear the birds chirping. It's a beautiful day. It is. It's an amazing day.
Yeah, I'm out on my deck right now.
Nice.
Yeah, even it's a little bit of a breeze. It's dry. It's not muggy.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know, and just real quick, and if you don't know anybody Jen, you've been a character on my show in many episodes where, you know, I've talked about my past and my childhood and growing up. And if you don't know, Jen and I have known each other. I mean, without ousting my age, I'm in my 40s, and I've known Jen all of my life. I don't remember a world where I don't know Jen. And Jen, you and I were talking the other day, which was amazing, and we had some amazing conversation. And I came to the realization that while we were talking, that there is no other person on the planet that knows or has experienced the things in my life that you have. Like you and I, and of course, Kevin, we experienced things in our lives that were just amazing. I mean, you have to say that. They're just amazing. And then the fact that here we are today and the conversations that we have to realize that there was a long period of time there, Jen, where we weren't communicating. Like I wasn't talking to anyone. I completely disconnected myself from everyone. And then to have that moment with you, I mean, we were on the phone for over an hour just talking. To have that moment with you, like it took me back. Like I literally hung up the phone and I had an emotional moment. Like I had to digest the fact that I really miss these people in my life. And I didn't realize, Joe, to your point, I didn't realize how much I missed it until I didn't have it, and then I had it back again. Right. You know what I mean? Like, and everybody was still there waiting. It's been years, Jen. It's been years, right?
Yeah, because we would see each other briefly.
Yep.
At Jen's.
Yep. Yeah.
You'd be getting your hair cut. I would be getting my hair cut.
Right.
Kind of thing, but brief.
Right. And then to have that conversation again and pick up like right where we left off, and just to know that you were all there. Everybody's still there. Mm-hmm. All my friends, they're all there, and they're all embracing the fact that I'm back in the world again, and I want to spend time with them as much as I possibly can. And although I was living in a little world of regret there for a minute, I've realized that that's the past, and I can't live in the past. Mm-hmm. And what I need to do is take the future and realize that these beautiful, amazing people are all around me, and I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to embrace it. You know, it's great.
It's just like being in a car. There's a reason why your rearview mirror is small.
That's true, man.
And your front windshield is big.
There you go.
Because the past is the past, and the future and your present is a lot brighter and bigger.
Right.
That's a good analogy.
Right. Jen, you're doing a lot of good. Let's talk about that for a second. You know, you're on Facebook. You do a lot of walks. You do a lot of runs. And, you know, you do a lot of benefits. So can you tell us a little bit about some of the charities that you support?
Well, it was just, I stumbled upon, you know, you're scrolling on Facebook. I don't really go on Facebook often, but then, you know, I just periodically, and then I'll see, you know, it was for cancer. And it was like walking your dog. It was 30 miles in 30 days. And I'm thinking, well, 30 miles in 30 days. Yeah. I'm not a runner anymore. I used to do distance running. Okay. And I just love doing it. But, you know, 30 miles in 30 days for a walk and for a good cause is, I mean, everybody knows somebody that has died of cancer.
Absolutely. Or is affected by it in some way, shape, or form. Like, it doesn't matter who you are. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So if you're out there, Jennifer Dillon, go check her out on Facebook and go support the cause. Is it, you still have that going on? Are you going to do that again?
It's up there. I already just finished that challenge because that was in the month of June. Yep. But I'm going to look to see if I can get in on another one. I'm probably going to skip this month because it already started, unless I see something that's manageable. Because if it's like another 30 miles in 30 days, I mean, I can, even though I don't do anything today, I can play catch up. Right. You know what? And that's amazing that you're taking your time and you're investing that in helping others. I mean, and again, that's really what it's all about. I mean, we're here for a short ride, and whatever we can do to help one another. And I think a lot of people have mindsets of success, and they're very driven in success, and they realize, like, look, I got to do me, and I got to be. But 99%. I will say this, and I will go to the grave with it. 99% of your success is helping other people, because by helping other people, that just grows more business. It grows relationships. It grows trust. And that cycle will continue and continue and continue. And before you realize it, you're surrounded by all these successful people who want to do a lot of good for a lot of people. And I think that's very important, Jen. And I really appreciate the fact that you're involved in yourself and giving your time to help others. And a lot of people aren't doing it. And it inspires people. It inspires me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It really does. Well, Jen, listen, we got a lot of show to go on here, and I really appreciate you calling into the show. And listen, I will be in touch shortly, and we'll talk because we got to hang out. All right? Yeah, sounds good. Thanks so much for calling the show, Jen. Appreciate it. Happy 4th, everyone. Thanks. Happy 4th. All right. Bye-bye. Bye. Well, that was great. No, dude? Yeah. I'll take that any day, man. Awesome. Jen, thanks for calling the show. So back to kind of where we were at. Realizing that,
you have to take that step in momentum and moving forward. Great analogy, by the way, with the rearview mirror. I love that. You know what I mean? Because sometimes the past can creep up on you, so you got to be able to see it. But moving forward and realizing that your circle, or your energy that you choose to surround yourself with, is only going to grow. You know what I mean? Because people want it. This is infectious. I don't care who you are. Everywhere I go, people are like, hey, tell me about the 75 hard. Dude, you're not drinking? Like, people are so interested in it. Why? Because
they want to do it too.
It's difficult.
Right.
Yes. And most people do.
And they want to know how bad,
the alcohol,
bad or how difficult it's going to be.
I tell people all the stages of like what you need to do. You know, drinking the water, reading the books, the 2 works out a day. People are cool with the 2 45-minute workouts. Nobody ever complains about that. As soon as I get, and then no alcohol, people are like, oh, I don't know about no alcohol. That's everywhere. Like everybody bails on the alcohol thing because I think it's just that security blanket. Some people drink because it's comfortable and they're hanging out. It's
stressful.
People are stressed out and they want to drink. So it's tough to let go of that. And again, I totally get it. I am not by any way, shape, or form. I'm not a prude. I love alcohol. I'm not pretending like I don't. But for me, it was a choice to say, you know what, it's something that I just needed to. You know, if you're going to drive for a living, you can't be drunk, right? So it's a kind of the same idea. I'm driving my life right now. There are critical points in my life that I have to just be very, very conscious of right now. And not having the alcohol, not having the and I don't want to say poison, but the foods that aren't helping me, the foods that are like slowing me down, the sugars, slugging me, removing all that and being conscious of my well-being, it really has put me in a position where I know without question that I can be successul. Like it literally, my brain, my thought process, the plan, like we were talking this morning about some investments that I'm looking at doing. Those are my thoughts now. Yeah. Like I'm not thinking about, oh, tomorrow I gotta get up and I gotta go to my job and it's gonna suck. Like I'm not thinking about that, bro. I'm thinking about, okay, what's the future look like for me? Where are my investments gonna be? Yeah. But a lot of that comes from mental toughness. Like I think that's the key. You have to be mentally strong.
I always want to do it for yourself too.
Right.
You can't just say there like, oh, I want to do 75 hard and then get into it and 3 days in you're like, because you weren't really mentally ready for it. Right.
I mean, you could say it and the idea of it sounds great, but to actually realize that your life has to change. And that's what happened to me. Like I realized my life has to change. I can no longer proceed to move forward in this manner. Like it just wasn't going to work for me, for my kids, just for my life. And for, you know what? I have an obligation. I have an obligation to you. I have an obligation to all my friends and family who have supported me and been behind me this whole journey. Yeah. I wouldn't be here without you guys. I'll say it out loud. Yeah. Just the bottom line. And a lot of that was you and I talking. And I think it's okay to say it. And I'll say it. I was in a dark place, Joe. I was broken.
Oh, I know.
I was broken. And the idea that you, along with some others, would take time to reach out to me, never stop communicating. Even when I didn't call you back, you kept calling me. Yeah. And you kept calling me. And the Victor De Silvas kept calling me. And the Tony Varellas, you kept calling me. It almost got to the point where I had to answer the phone. The Don Priors, I had to answer the phone. I couldn't ignore you anymore. And once I answered the phone, I realized that I wanted to answer the phone all the time. And I answered the phone again. And I answered the phone again. And before I knew it, I was like literally taken back by the amount of support and love that I had from so many directions. And then I realized, hey, wait a minute. There's something more to you here, man. And all these people see something that you don't. And now I see it. And now I see it. And now I see it. I was giving so much of what I didn't have.
When somebody's down and out, they need to, I'm not going to say need to, but you got to show them that they matter still, you know, because no matter what it is that you're going through in life, you know, you're going to get into a dark place and you're going to have some thoughts that you wouldn't think that you would ever think. Right. You know, like, it's just stuff, you know, that you don't want. So you got to reach out, your friends, your family member, or who not, and just remember, just even the phone calls. Even I know you were seeing the phone calls, but just showing you that, you know, you matter still. You know what I'm saying?
No, even though
like there's people out there that just because whatever you're going through in life, whatever it is, relationship, drugs, you know, stuff like that, whatever you're going through. That's not the end of the world.
It's not. It's
there's
really
more,
not, dude.
There's more to life than what you're going through, and you need to realize that there's people out there that you still have an impact.
Yeah,
on
you matter. I matter.
Right. You matter in their life.
Yep. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But it's so easy to get outside of that.
Right.
And
Because
like
you forget.
And like you said, I didn't have to answer the phone, but I knew that there was 3 missed calls from Joe.
Yeah.
And I'd see that. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, he wants to talk to you. You know what I mean? I'd see a missed call from my brother. You know, I wasn't talking to my brother. I wasn't talking to anybody.
Right.
I literally just closed. I literally closed in on myself, and I was consuming a lot of alcohol, and you know what, guys? I wasn't anything special, and I'm not anything special. It was complete textbook. I was absolute textbook in a state of depression. And just feeling bad for myself. And really, it took me some time to get around that circle. But hearing the words, and Joey, we talked, and I wasn't truly honest with you, bro. Mm-hmm. I was guilty by omission, right? I wasn't sharing all my information with you. You were trying to be so supportive to me, and you were giving me amazing advice, but you didn't know all the details and the nuances of my situation. I was hiding it. I was ashamed. I was embarrassed. You know what I mean? Like those are the emotions that I think, and I don't say just as men, even as women, I think as humans, those are the emotions that will prevent us from reaching out to someone or communicating with someone, because you feel like, well, I must have did something wrong. Like this is, I don't want to share this with you because I don't want you to think any less of me.
Right.
But at the end of the day, what you realize is, and I'm going to say this to everyone because it really changed my life. When you feel that way, put yourself in a situation like this. Should that or could that have happened to a family member, someone that you really care about, or a close friend? Right. And if they came to you with that type of information or some information that they were, how would you react to that? Right. So if you called me with my situation, Joe, I would be like, well, what can I do? Joe, how can I help you? Right. So why would that be any different from me?
Right.
But in my mind, I wasn't even seeing that. I wasn't even. You
were embarrassed. You were thinking that people would think less of you and stuff like that. But
yes.
Listen, everybody in their life goes through tough times in their life. You hit rock bottom some point in your life.
Yep.
Everybody's going to hit rock bottom at some point in their life.
Yep.
And it's okay to have help. You got to reach out to have help to help you get back up.
It's true. It's true.
You can't just sit there and just be feeling,
Yeah.
I feel so, you can't do that. Be like, oh, I don't feel good. I don't like this and life sucks and blah, blah.
Yeah.
But life doesn't suck. There's so much more to life than what you're going through right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, all it is just a season for you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Seasons change.
Right.
So.
My son said it best, Joe. He said, Dad, this is a moment in time.
Right.
That's what he said.
Well, what was it? A post? Did I post it yesterday? Or the day before? There was a post that I put out there and says, never, what is it? How did I put it? Everybody has a story in their life. Don't judge the person by the chapter you walk into in their life. Mm-hmm. Because that chapter will change.
It's true.
So same thing with, you were down and out, feeling guilty, feeling sorry for yourself.
Yep.
And there's people out there that wanted to talk to you and tell you, hey, listen, there's more to life than what you're going through. Yeah. It sucks right now.
Yep.
Eventually, it'll, the light will shine and you'll see what you're not seeing.
Right. But the thing is, Joe, at that moment, like that was the last thing I wanted to hear.
Right.
But it was what I needed to hear.
Right.
It was what I needed to hear most is what I didn't want to hear.
Right.
And it was almost that I wanted to bathe in this realm of just self-pity. Mm-hmm. Poor me. Like this shouldn't happen to people. Like
I'm such a nice guy.
There you go.
Why is this happening to me?
I'm a good guy. I'm a good and then you realize, wait a minute, this has nothing to do with any of that.
No.
And ultimately, at the end of the day, we are all individuals. We are all people. We are all individuals, and we make decisions and we do things that we feel are maybe in our best interest, maybe not in our best interest, whatever the case is. We do things individually.
Right.
My biggest mistake is thinking that somehow I have empowerment over anyone else.
Right.
Or the way that they feel or the things that they do. And in coming to the realization that that's not the case at all, we're all individuals and that my actions only affect me and could hurt others or help others. But ultimately, at the end of the day, I am responsible for me. Like my space, my orbit. This is me. I can't control Joe. I can't control anybody else. And I can't think that if Joe does this, then my life is okay. Like nothing's going to change in my life. Those things are imaginary thoughts in our mind of control. And we do not have control over anything. So I've come to that realization and understand that I get up every morning, Joe, and I put my feet on the ground, and I'm just so grateful to be up every day. And, Don said it best. He said, you get up in the morning, look in the mirror and say to yourself, I am better today than I was yesterday. And tomorrow I'll even be better than I am today.
Right.
And just
Another day above ground.
Brother, every morning I put my feet on the ground. I say those words to myself every single day. And I don't want it to sound like this is, this is legit, dude. This isn't fairy tale.
Yeah.
I am experiencing this full-handed. I have met over this time period, let's say the last couple of months, I have met some of the most amazing people I've ever met in my life. Mm-hmm. And hadn't my situation been what it was, hadn't the things happened to me that have happened, brother, I wouldn't have experienced any of these things. And I've had some of the most amazing moments of clarity and experience over these last couple of months. Now,
I don't want to get too biblical or anything like that, but just like yesterday, the post that I posted yesterday, you pray for things.
Yes.
Everybody, I know it's a touchy subject for everybody, like the prayer and God and all that, but we all do it. We all pray.
Yep.
Secretly, silently, going to church, whatever.
Absolutely. Yep.
So, just because what you're going through, you may have asked for a change in your life, but this is the way God's giving it to you.
I asked for God for things that weren't good for me. What I wanted,
right?
I'm absolutely.
He's giving it to you.
Yeah.
But he's giving it to you in a way that you wouldn't have imagined.
Right.
He's not a genie.
Right.
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 He's not a genie.
Right.
He's not just going to go ahead and say, Bobby, here you go. You're going to have a better job. Right. No, you have to go through. You're going to have to go through these testimonies.
Yep.
To get there.
Yep.
And it may not be the path that you want.
Right.
But it's going to lead you to a better path than you thought.
Absolutely. And and like you mentioned, Joe, and to me, like you think the universe, and this is how the universe it functions. And you don't have control other than where you drive the direction. Like this is where I'd like to go, and these are the people, these are the factors that I have to kind of keep in mind. But ultimately, you just have to go with it. You just have to feel it. And letting go of all that anxiety, and that's really what I did. My anxiety, 99% of my anxiety came from my inability to understand that I couldn't control everything. And I wanted to control everything.
We can't.
I was getting up in the morning thinking that I was going to control my day.
Yeah.
Look, I had a plan. I knew the things that I wanted to do, and I was always going into the detail of exactly how people were going to react to the situation, how they were going to communicate with, and it never worked out that way, bro.
And for you, it's a lot worse because you got OCD.
Yeah. Yes.
So when something's not working out right for you, it bothers you a lot more than a person like myself.
Yes, to the point where I'm up at night, and it just literally not
You're
sleeping.
You're just sitting there rambling on and putting it in your head, but you got to let all that go.
Yes.
You got to realize that you can't control what's out of your control.
Right.
You know, you only can control what's right now.
Exactly.
You can't control the past.
Nope.
You can't control the future.
Nope.
You could plan for the future, but you still can't control it.
Yep.
You only could control this moment in your life.
I was at a party last night and met some new people. And matter of fact, I was talking to this guy, Carlos, great guy, Portuguese guy. And we're talking, he was saying, I go to Portugal, I got some property out there. I'm like, oh, no kidding. I'm like, how often do you go? He goes, I ended up buying a house out there because my mom, she was living there. She came here for a little while. She flew, she went back. She was staying there for a little bit. He goes, and then on her flight back, they had a terrible experience with the airplane. She goes, the turbulence was crazy. He goes, and since that day, she will never fly again. I said, so she hasn't come back to the States? He goes, no, she won't come back because she won't fly.
Wow.
And I said to myself, and obviously I feel bad for the guy, but she's happy. My point is how, imagine that's your life. And actually, like, this is how I process that. Imagine that you're afraid to fly. Imagine that you're afraid to talk to that person. Imagine that you're afraid to apply for that job. Maybe that you're afraid to make that investment. Like, what is the rest of your life going to be? You're never going to leave that one place.
Right.
You ended up going. She went back, and she never came back here again. So, who are you not seeing? How many family members? How many people are here that she's never going to see again because she has a fear about something that she can't control? If a plane's going to fall out of the sky, a plane's going to fall out of the sky. It doesn't mean we don't travel. You know what I mean?
The thing I look at is just like this whole COVID thing, right? Well, not to get too, but a lot of people live in fear.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
So oh, I got to wear a mask. I got to wear gloves. I got to disinfect my hands. I got to do this. I got to do that. Right?
Constantly.
No matter what you did, you still caught it.
Right.
Right? So if you're meant to catch it, you're going to catch it.
You're gonna get it.
Right?
Yep.
So if you're meant to die in an airplane, one way or another,
right,
it doesn't matter. You're going to die.
Right.
Whether it's in an airplane, if you're meant to die, your time is over. We're all got an expiration date. Right?
Right.
We all have an expiration date.
Right.
So it doesn't matter if you're flying a plane, boiling hot water,
taking a shower, driving down the road, right?
Driving,
yep.
Just laying out in your backyard.
Yep.
When your time is up, it's up.
It's up. That's it.
So live every day.
Exactly. With no regret, bro.
Exactly.
Right? Zero compromise.
If you're going to die, you're going to die.
Yep.
Whether it's if you go hang gliding.
Yep.
If you go parachuting.
Yep.
If you're riding a bicycle.
It's true.
It's
right.
right. When your time is up, it's up.
So
you can try to prevent it, no matter how much you prevent it.
I guess you ask yourself the question.
You're going to be done.
What's your legacy?
Right.
What are you leaving behind?
Exactly.
Right? What are you leaving behind?
Right. So that's my whole point, and that's how I look at life.
Yeah.
It's like I wake up in the morning.
Yep.
God gave me another chance to fix whatever I need to fix.
Right.
I'm here for a purpose.
Yeah, right.
You're here for a purpose.
Yep.
The audience is here for a purpose.
Yep.
You just got to find that purpose.
You got to find that purpose. And again, going back to what we were originally talking about.
Leave your legacy.
Is sometimes you need someone to show you. Like I needed that. Joe, I couldn't see the forest through the trees, brother. I knew it was there.
Yeah.
I couldn't bring myself to that point. How many times did I sit behind this microphone and not say a word? I couldn't bring myself to do it. And then as time goes on, and I just want to say this to everyone, as time goes on, what you think is dire right now, what you think is horrible and terrible, and just understand that this could be the beginning of the greatest point in your life. It literally, when you're at the bottom of the barrel, you have nowhere else to go but up.
Yeah.
And just because you think that you're sad about your relationships, or you're in a relationship that you're not happy and you're not being treated the way you want to be treated, or you're in a job that you feel that you're not being able to feel like self-worth, you're not feeling like you're making a difference, make a change. Just what the concept and idea
it's to get into that.
Yes. And
because I know, Brandon, you're watching.
Yep.
How long did it take you to leave?
Right.
Same thing with me.
Yep.
It was, you're at the job, and it's getting to the point where my wife is telling me, hey, you're not the same person that you used to be.
What kept you there, Joe?
I had to make money.
There you go. But you could have kept up with, even if it wasn't,
I could have went to, you didn't know what you don't know.
If it wasn't money, it would have been something else. It would have been the insurance.
It's always an excuse.
Right? It would have been the insurance.
Always.
Oh, I need the insurance.
I need the insurance.
Right.
There's other jobs out there that have insurance.
Right.
You know?
Yep.
I left my job, I took a $9 pay cut.
My favorite one?
A $9 pay cut. But the thing is with this job, I have a brighter future. I have more opportunity.
Absolutely.
With my last job, I was just stuck.
Right.
There was no opportunity.
Right.
There was nowhere else for me to go.
Right.
It was always going to be the same thing. And the management and all that, your bosses, all that, it all started to change.
Right.
So it made you miserable. It's like, oh, I'm stuck. I'm here. I'm this. And then you got supervisors sitting there, oh, you don't like your job? Well, then what are you going to go do? What are you going to go do? Huh? What are you going to go do?
There you go.
You know? Go flip burgers at Burger King and stuff.
Do whatever you want to do, brother.
You don't realize it until it's... And then when it finally boils over and you had enough is enough, you leave. And for me to leave, that was nerve-wracking because taking a $9 pay cut, but I made that back.
Right.
I made that back within 2 years.
Dude, and honestly, that $9, like, what does that mean to you?
Right.
Is your life worth those $9, bro?
Right.
Like,
and
seriously.
I'm a lot happier.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I see. What a difference, bro.
Yeah. I'm a lot happier.
What an absolute difference.
So that's what you got to do. You got to do what's self-worth for you.
Yep.
And what makes you happy.
So that's the audience. Listen to this. This is amazing.
What makes you happy?
What makes you happy? Literally, what makes you happy?
Follow. Do it. If you're not happy at your job, there's other jobs out there. There's tons of jobs now.
Yeah.
You could go find another job paying you relatively around the same price that you're making now, if not more.
Yep.
With more opportunity.
And you're happy.
and you could be happier.
And you could be happier.
They always say the grass isn't always greener on the other side, but
you'll never know if you don't look.
You don't know if you don't try.
You don't know if you try, man. And that's really what it is.
And it may have brown spots here and there, but guess what? You could always water it and make it better.
That's it. And that's the mentality. And you ask yourself, like, okay, so today, like I wrote some notes down, and like, for example, where, right? So 3 questions today. Where have you been, right? Mm-hmm. Because that's very important. Where you've been is really going to shape where you're going.
Correct.
Right. So where have you been, and where are you now? Like, where are you today?
Right.
Are you the same place you were yesterday?
No.
Right. And so finally, where are you going? Where do you want to be? What does your future look like?
Sky's the limit.
So when you sit and you think about your future, what are you thinking about? Oh, let's see. I have a vacation planned for August, and we're going to go away for a week, and that's pretty much it. And what's tomorrow look like for you?
Right.
Are you going to do the same thing you did today? Are you going to spend like your day cutting your grass because you got nobody else to cut your grass?
Right.
I'll challenge you with this one. Dude, I'm guilty. It takes me like 2 days to cut my grass. Yeah, I got a lot of grass.
Yeah, you do.
So how many hours, Joe, have I invested in cutting my grass? For what purpose? Wouldn't it have been wise for me to just get a landscaper and say, hey, listen, my time is more valuable.
Yeah.
And if I took my time that I was cutting that grass and I sat and I invested it in myself, I read a book, or I invested in saying, you know what, I want to get into some investments, and I'm going to do the research, and what's cryptocurrency all about? If I had taken that time and invested in making in myself and my knowledge, that makes me worth more. Mm-hmm. And now I'm paying a landscaper to do his job. And now I'm investing in myself because that money that I'm paying him is more valuable for me to pay him. And then I can invest that time in myself. And so the reason I say that is understand, what are you worth per hour? What is your worth per hour? What does your job pay you? Oh, whatever. But honestly, to yourself, what are you worth? What's that dollar amount?
So the way I look at it is similar to that. Is because I got young kids, and I want to be more involved in their life.
Yep.
Right? When they're young.
Mm-hmm.
There's one thing you can never get back is time. Right? So you never make up time, but you can always make up money.
Yes.
Right?
Dude.
So for me, I'd rather lose out on money right now and spend the time with my family.
Yep.
And make up that money in the future.
Yep.
So when they're all grown
and
they're moving on and with their lives, I can start investing and making more money in my life.
Right. So how many people, if they adapted that concept, where would they be today?
They could be a lot happier.
Absolutely, man.
You know how many times for instance, I remember one time when Comcast was going through the whole union thing. Yep. What did you say? Christmas Eve, your boss says, I need an email from you to explain how we can get this union out of here.
Yep.
And you're in an office while your family members, everybody else is having a good time.
Yep. And I wrote that.
That took away from you.
Yeah, I'll never forget that.
You'll never get that.
Never get it back.
You're never going to get that time.
Ask me how that's helped me today.
Exactly.
It didn't.
Right.
It made me weaker.
Right.
It did. Because the right answer would have been, hey, listen, Kevin, kiss my ass. It's Christmas Eve. Right. And I'll get to you on next week when I get back.
Right.
Not me immediately jumping and writing this long-winded email that quite honestly made no difference whatsoever because I ended up leaving anyway.
Right.
So it's just, all it did was literally whittle, brick by brick, just take away my self-pride and my self-worth. And it literally, you would never think that, right? Because you say, well, my family is the most important thing to me. Really? If my family was the most important thing to me, then why was I working?
Right. And once you realize the stuff, you sit back and you go, all the overtime.
Yeah.
That's all good and fine and dandy.
Yep.
But why are you working all that overtime? Oh, you got to pay for the house you have.
Yep.
Well, you went out without your means.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
You overexhausted yourself.
Yes.
Now you have to work that.
Right.
And now, guess what? You have to.
Yep.
Once you start saying, I have to,
Done.
You start becoming miserable.
You're becoming emotionally weak.
Because now you're just a robot.
Mentally weak,
emotionally
bed,
waking
weak.
up,
Absolutely.
Going to bed,
and who pays the consequences of that? You and your family.
Right.
They see the product. They see what it is. And you just keep doing that over and over and over again. And before you know it, brother, you're like, wow. And your wife's looking at you going, you're always miserable.
Yeah.
Why are you always miserable?
Right.
And that's how it happens. So really, that's the message today. I'm hoping that people can be receptive to this and realize that you control your destiny. It's so hard to forget that. And really understanding that, yes, you're a father, you're a mother, you're an uncle, all those things. That's all true. But ultimately, you're a human. You're your own person.
Right.
And that needs to matter first. And I always said this, and it's funny because I would say it, but I never really understood it until now. And that is, you got to take care of number one. If you don't take care of yourself, then how are you going to help anybody else? Right. Like, seriously, think about that for a second.
But not only that, if you take care of yourself and your significant other takes care of themselves,
yes,
you both
that's it, bro.
are perfect for you because you're not trying to change her, and she's not trying to change you.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, absolutely. And it's also realizing that as time goes on and we get older, realizing that being with someone that you're compatible with is so much more important than being someone you look good with. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yep. The good days of hanging out, I'm going to the bar, okay. And check out.
It's all fun.
It's all great. Fun. Yeah, it's all fun. But really, what's the end product? Are you aligning yourself with someone who's going to make you better? Are you aligning with yourself with someone who actually cares and says, "Hey, I can help you be what you want to be, not I can help you be what I want you to be." Right? I mean, you know that firsthand. So it's really understanding that. And again, same thing with me. Is I voluntarily allowed myself to do that. Right. Like I allowed people. And not just, my personal relationships, but outside of that, in my professional career, to allow them to control you. Yes, ultimately, every time. And it wasn't just Comcast. Even my last experience with Christmas tree shops, I was consumed. Thanksgiving, I was working. I was there. We had a major, because it's realty, it's retail. So I had to be there. And I spent, Thanksgiving. I was on vacation. And on my vacation, I was working. And then I came back a day early for my vacation, because the weather wasn't so good. So we're like, let's go home and we'll have an extra day at home. I came home and I got a phone call. I was at work a day before. I was on vacation, Joe. I was on vacation, brother, and I was at work. Mm-hmm. And it was all based on the concept of, well, it's the right thing to do. Like I got to keep everybody working. But you know what? I'm not there anymore, Joe. Right. And they're still doing just fine. Mm-hmm. CTS is making a lot of money. Life goes on. Mm-hmm. And had I not responded then, nothing would have changed.
But a lot of people need to realize is you think you're the man, you're the best, that they couldn't do anything without you. Mm-hmm. It'll be a real place tomorrow.
Yes, that's very important to remember. It is because it's a business, right? And if you had a business, and if you were the one that lost somebody, you need to find someone to keep continuity of your business. Right? It's nothing personal. No. And the idea that we allow our emotions, because Joe, I was the man. You know what I mean? I allow. Right. I'm the boss. You hear that enough. Yeah. Oh, you're amazing, Bobby. Why am I amazing? Yeah. Because I give up everything in my life while
they can spend time with their family, you're doing what they
Of course I'm the best.
Should be doing.
Dude, of course you're the best, right?
Pat on the back.
Pat on the back. Hey, it's 9:00 at night. Hey, bro, listen, I got a no dial tone, bro. I need you. Could you please help me out, man? Okay, man. Oh, Joe, you're the best. Yeah. Right? Yeah. That's the way it goes. Right. And before you know it, you don't even realize that you're the villain in your own story. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You really are. Because you're doing it's so detrimental to your own existence and your self-esteem. And somehow you convince yourself that these small little wins for someone else is your success. But in reality, it's not. Mm-hmm. Like me going to work on Thanksgiving didn't help my family. No. Didn't help me. And I didn't even get paid, bro, because I'm salary. Yeah. So it's like all of those things, brother.
And that's why.
Right? All of those things that are there. Right. Realizing, and I'm only putting this out there, and I want people to know because it's important for you to know. And if you're living in this perpetual situation, you really got to stop and take a step back.
Right. And if you're going to leave and go to another job, ask questions. Yep. Ask questions when you're in that interview, too. Right. You know, like, oh, well, there's shift changes. What do you mean by shift changes? Does that? Oh, well, you could potentially work midnight shift. You could potentially work this, that. Do you still want the job? You choose that job, knowing that you're going to have a shift change. Yes. Expect it. Yeah. And just you're going to have to go with it. Right. There's a lot of stuff out there that.
And the thing is, Joe,
you're picking, you're choosing, you chose your destiny.
There it is. And if you pick that, if you say, well, I really need the job, then you know what? You're putting yourself in a situation where you're not doing what you should be doing for yourself. Mm-hmm. You're putting yourself you're in a weak position because you're not saying to yourself, well, you know what? I'm going to pass on this because I can find other opportunities. Right. I can go. I know that I'm good enough and I have the talent and I could do something that is better fit for my lifestyle. Right. Rather than say, well, I'm going to take this job because I have to.
Right.
And there it goes right there. Like right from day one.
Have to.
You have to. And
got to.
And
those are the words you got to stay away from.
And the truth and reality of it, that's bullshit. None of that. None of that exists, brother.
Right.
None of that exists. It's what we create in our minds. Right. It's these mental blocks and fences and walls that we create in our lives because somehow we've been brought up in a world where your parents told you, Joe, I know they told me, you got to get a job. You got to get
18 years old. You got to get a job. If you're living here, you got to have a job.
Yep. And then you end up at the grocery store, like whatever. I think working is important. I think it builds character, absolutely. And I think when you're young, my son works at the depot, and that's good for him because he's young. But you know what? He's building skills doing these small jobs. For his
future, and
so that he can realize, hey, listen, 10 years from now, I know what I want to do, and I think I have the skills to do that. So you find the things that you like. So you're almost like doing like an exploratory.
Right.
I'm living my life, but I'm exploring. I'm talking to people. I'm experiencing people. How long, bro, does it take before you realize that you've made a decision in your life that you can't get out of, bro? Right. You feel like there's
That's why I say you live beyond your means. You become that person.
Right.
I gotta work overtime.
Yep.
I gotta go into work.
Yep.
Yep. I can't take a vacation. I have to go to work. I have to work because I gotta get that overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what it is social media in the world.
That's funny because I have that in my notes too. Social media. Yep.
Makes you think that you got to live that lifestyle, and then what happens is, before you know it, you're in credit card debt. You're behind in your payments of, whatever, your vehicles or your credit cards or whatnot. And you're playing catch up. And then you become miserable because all you're doing is going to work just to catch up and you got nothing to show for it after.
I was with somebody over the weekend and she happened to show me something on her phone, and it's an app, and you take a picture. And on that app, it's short of amazing because it literally changes all of your features. Everything. Like you can do eyebrows, you can do nose, you can do lips, I've never seen that before. And so that's what social media is, brother. So nobody's posting pictures that are real.
Right.
They're all manipulated. Right. They're all, and you're like, wow, look how young he looks, bro. Look how great he looks. Yeah, no shit. Because he's got some $200 app that is literally like manipulating everything about their features.
Catfishing people.
Right. And then all of a sudden you meet this person, you're like, who are you?
Right.
Like, who do you? You don't even look like your picture. You know what I mean? It's like, and to see that, it was so eye opening for me, brother. And to your point on social media, none of it's real, bro.
No,
none of it's real. And the people that are posting the real things, family and friends are maybe into that. You know what I mean? Very rarely do other people want to be a part of it. But I tell you, maybe because just being out of it and not seeing it, but now really like being just open to that and saying, wow, like none of this is real, brother.
Social media can be vicious.
It is, dude, it is brutal.
It's very, very vicious.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
takes no prisoners, bro.
A lot of bad, a lot of fake, and a lot of bullying and stuff like that.
Yep.
So I changed my posts. I changed that around. I'm like,
so if people want to go over and read these because they're amazing, Joe, how would they find you on Facebook? It's Joe
Costa.
Just Joe Costa straight? Yep. Joe Costa. There was no numbers or letters in there, just Joe Costa. Yep. All right. So Joe Costa on Facebook. Go take a look. Dude, you post a lot of inspiring statements and comments.
A lot of them I come up with.
Yeah.
I mean, I could show you my phone. I got probably about 40 of them that I've come up with that I just haven't posted yet.
So I just want to, real quick, is it okay? Can we talk about that situation where you actually, like someone read one of your posts and it changed your life? I mean, literally.
Right.
It was the difference between another day. Can we say that?
Right.
Can we talk about that a minute? And I say that and I don't want to talk about it doesn't know who it is, no specifics.
No, I'm not going to say who and whatever, but I get a little emotional talking about it. But so I started changing my posts around just because, like I said, all the crap that you see on Facebook or social media or whatnot, it could take a toll on people. So there was a quote that I've seen, and it says, there's enough evil and bad people in the world. What gives you the right to do the same? Be the change that the world needs. So I posted that, and then a lot of people liked it and commented and said, "Wow, I needed that," and stuff like that. So I started to keep going with it. I'm like, oh, I'll just keep going. Boom, boom, boom. Some people liked, some people commented. After a while, it was just, I don't do it for the likes or anything like that. I know people are reading it and just hope it resonates with them. And I've gotten a few like messages saying, "Hey, Joe, this is great. This is awesome. I needed that. I love it. Keep it going." Then I got a message from somebody that said, one of your posts resonated with me and it changed my life. And I said, "Oh, wow, cool." I said, "That's good." I said, "If you ever need to reach out to me or whatever, here's my cell." Now, I haven't talked to this person in probably since elementary school. So, 5 minutes later, he calls me. And he's like, "Hey, Joe." He's like, "I just want you to know you changed my life." And I'm like, "Oh, really?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I'm going through a tough time in my life right now where I've been contemplating, how I should end myself." So I was like, "Wow, really?" And he's like, "Yeah." He goes, "I got a lot of things going on in my life right now. My kids, my job. The whole pandemic thing really took a toll on me and my family." And I told him, I said, "But listen, man," I said, "there's a lot more to life than what you're going through right now. Your life matters. Your life matters to somebody, to your kids, whether you think it's not, to your wife. I don't know what your situation is, but you matter and stuff." And he's like, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, I saw, I'm starting to see a therapist and stuff like that." He goes, "But some of your posts have really changed my outlook on how to think about life." And I was like, "Wow." I said, "I appreciate that."
Yeah,
I
what
said,
do you do with that?
you don't realize how powerful the word,
Telling you, man.
a word can, a sentence, even something, just reaching out to somebody, how powerful that could be to that person. You don't realize because you never had to experience it yourself or, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, that's...
Wow.
So
That's
I just
powerful,
keep it
bro.
going.
That's powerful. Man.
And to this day, this person doesn't like or comment on my post, but I know he sees them.
Right.
And
I see him.
yeah,
I see him, bro.
It doesn't matter.
They
You can like them, you could comment on them,
No.
you can share them.
Yep.
That's fine. I do it to just reach out to other people because that right there lets me know that what I'm putting out there matters to them.
even if it helps one person.
Right. Which
Even if
helps
it
this one
even if
person.
it saves one life, bro. You're a hero, brother. I know you don't think it,
No.
but you're a hero, brother. And
Yeah.
the idea that you take the time and you spend the time to put those together and share those with people, I've read them all. I see them daily, and brother, they help me every single day.
My wife helps me because I'll even read. I'll start writing some of them out, and I'll be like, "Oh, how should I word this?" And just the words just don't. I think it, and then I start typing it, and then she'd be like, "Oh, well, why don't you use this word? This word will probably."
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. But ultimately, too, you're doing it. You're doing it because you feel it. Because it's where does it come from? You know what I mean?
I've always thought this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Just like some people come to me and they're like, "Hey, Joe, I got this going on in my life. What do you think? What should I do?" and stuff like that. I'm not willing to go out of my way and just because I've done that in the past and it's bit me in the ass.
Right.
Trying to help people. Oh, what do you? Just leave me alone.
Yeah.
None of your business. Stay out of it.
Yep.
So I stay out of everybody's business now. And you come to reach out to me and you're asking me a question or just want to vent, that's fine.
I think probably the most special thing about your comments and is that a lot of times I felt like you were writing those for me. You know what I mean? And I know that they were for everybody, but I felt like it was for me, brother. I took them and I'd save them, I bookmark them.
Because believe it or not, some of the times that we talked, after we've done talking, I'll start to sit there and think and be like, oh, how am I going to put, I can put in words how it could resonate not just with you,
Mm-hmm.
but with everybody else.
Right.
And
realizing that I'm not the only one that's going through this.
No.
And even though
There's
we're
tons
talking
of people
about it,
out
right,
there.
right. And that's what people have to realize. You're not alone.
No.
You're not alone.
No.
And I thought I was, dude. I thought no one ever was experiencing this is me. And
Yeah.
it's just, and it's not, man.
You don't have to experience what you're going through.
Right.
Because like I said, if you called me for advice what you were going through, I wouldn't know it.
Mm.
I wouldn't know how to give you advice.
Right.
But I was an ear.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got it off your chest.
Yeah. And I think helping me realize that I was much more than my situation, and that I am.
Mm-hmm.
I am so much more than the things that have happened to me. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
I am. I'm a dad. I'm a friend. I'm a companion. I'm all those things, and I'm just grateful that I was able to have you in my life, and many others who were so inspiring and took the time to write those things. Joe, how many people are out there? Nobody's writing things like that. People will write shit like, hey, man, I just bought this and I got this. And
Right. It's all self.
it's all self, and nobody's really going, hey,
half
listen.
of it's fake.
Yeah, man. And I think really realizing that we're all in this together. We really are. And we're all sharing experiences and understanding that we're not alone. I just think it's so very important. And again, here I am, brother. I am the product of what you can be, just in continuing to do the things that you love, surrounding yourself with the people that you want to be around, and realizing that these energies are what's going to carry you through the rest of your life, and realizing some of the most amazing moments in your life haven't even happened yet.
Mm-hmm.
Like you haven't. Like you think, oh wow, I'm in my 40s. Oh, my life. No, it's the beginning.
Right.
Dude, I say this. You live two parts of your life. You live the first half of your life and getting ready for the second half of your life, right? Like all those things that you did that first half of your life, a lot of people don't get that opportunity to say, hey, listen, let me take everything that I've learned, the good and the bad,
Mm-hmm.
and now I can become the best version of myself. And I can live out the rest of my days feeling fulfilled, rewarded, loved,
Right.
you know, and you give it all back. Like, I don't want it. You know what I mean? I love it. I take it all, and then I just want to give it all back. You know what I mean?
You want other people to experience
Absolutely,
what you're
man.
experiencing.
Absolutely. And I hope, and anybody, you can reach out to me, thebobbycudoshow@gmail.com. Call, leave me a voicemail message, 508-475-9499. Go to the website. All the links are there. And reach out. I mean, you can get to Joe through me. You can get Joe on Facebook. And if you have these concerns or you're just looking for some direction, I mean, talk to somebody who's been through it. And you know what? And I haven't been through it. I'm going through it. You know what I mean? Like I'm
you're still going through it.
Oh, I'm in the middle of all of this. And realizing that what my future could be, Joe, it's just, it drives me even more.
Right.
You know what I mean? When you get out of that space of that darkness, where you can be just as detrimental to yourself and thinking all these negative thoughts. And then when that turns and you realize, hey, wait a minute, I can make this a positive. I can move forward. I have momentum.
Right.
And that's what I have now, brother. I have momentum. And every day, 33 days today, tomorrow, day 34, all the way until the last days of my life, man, I will continue to do what I'm doing. And that is every day I want to win, brother. I want to win. I want to succeed. I want to feel good about myself. I want to surround myself with great people. And I'm not going to change. That's never going to change, brother. And whether that's drinking alcohol, not drinking alcohol, and maybe I have to remove people out of my life, and maybe I have to add people in my life, all that's going to happen. But no matter what, at the end of the day, bro, it's me.
You got to do it for yourself.
It's me.
Even your listeners, they got to do it for themselves.
Yes.
It's just like an addict, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can bring an addict to facilities all you want.
Yep.
But if that person doesn't want to change, they're going to come out.
Yep.
And they're going to go right back to it.
Absolutely.
So you got to change for you.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, so whatever it is in your life that you want to change, whether it's your job, relationships, you got to do it. When you do it, you got to be committed to it.
Right.
You got to be 100% ready.
Absolutely.
110% ready to change.
Yep.
Whatever you want to make change in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So.
You know, and it's again, and we talked about the 75 hot challenge earlier, and we talked about like alcohol being the breaker for people. And ultimately, when you think of that, that's what it is. You're not ready to make that commitment. Right. If you're looking, they want to. It sounds great. Oh, that sounds great. But the fact that I would have to do that is enough to make people change their minds. Then you're not ready to go.
No.
So you keep doing what you're doing. You haven't been pushed that limit yet. And I'm just going to say this warning. Although you may not feel that you're ready, at some point, you may be forced to be ready.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not going to be your choice.
Right.
And at that point, when you're confronted with a decision that you either can move forward or you can just stop everything.
Right.
That's where the decision can be dangerous. And if you're not strong enough, you might not make it.
Right.
So why wait until you're put in a position where you have no choice? You know, you have something going on now. Why not better yourself? Why not take those small steps to make yourself a better version of yourself? Why wait until the ground falls out from underneath you and you're standing there with nothing? Right. You're just looking around and there's nothing around you. Mm-hmm. You know? So again, some advice for today is really take that and try to move forward and realize that you're an amazing anomaly. Like we are all, every single one of us, we are amazing anomalies. We're all
different, but we all matter.
Yes. And together, cohesively, we can create beautiful things. We all know that we have that one friend who nobody wants to hang out with. Why? Because everything's negative. Who wants to hang out with that person?
Right.
Who wants to talk to that person? I don't want to call you. I don't want to talk to you, right?
Surround yourself with better people.
Absolutely. And that's step one, man.
And keep the squares out of your circle.
Keep the poison out. Because those people are just going to continue to bring you down. And no matter what they do, until they decide for themselves that they want to better themselves, they are just going to take so much energy from you. Mm-hmm. You're always worried about them. Where are they? Are they okay? Did they do that again? And if they're not willing to take that step for themselves, how can they expect you to do that for them?
Right.
It's so selfish. It's unfair. It's not right. And if you care about somebody, Joe, you and I, we're best friends, right? And you see me, I'm doing things that are making me feel bad about myself, making those around me, the people that I'm responsible for, look at me differently. Because why? I don't have any self-respect, or I don't care about myself. Mm-hmm. And you want to look out for me. How long, Joe, before you say, Bobby, bro, I can't carry you anymore?
Right.
Like you can't, like it's gotten to the point you keep doing the same things over and over and over again, and you're not changing who you are. You're not making even the conscious effort. And just admitting, because you admit that you're doing wrong things, doesn't justify you doing wrong things. Right. People think, well, I did a shitty thing, and I'm a terrible person, and I suck. Okay, great. That's realization. Now, what are you going to do about it?
Change it.
Well, no.
What are you going to do to change?
But I suck, so I'm just going to keep doing it. Really?
Right. So you quit.
And all you're doing is hurting those you love the most.
There's never anything, there's no such thing as over.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's never over unless you quit.
Right.
You quit doing whatever you're doing, then it's over.
Right.
You're in charge of what you want to do in life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or what you want to do with your life.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to change it and do better, if you want to do anything in life,
it's you.
Don't quit.
It's you.
You can't quit on yourself. You're quitting on yourself. That's who you're quitting on.
Right.
You're not quitting on the other person you're trying to impress. You're quitting on yourself.
It's true. It's so true, man.
Don't quit on yourself.
It is. And when you do that, you realize you're quitting on yourself. You're also quitting on those who love you.
Right.
Who care about you. Because everybody's looking at you concerned. Everybody's worried about you. Even me. And this is my own personal experience. I only talk because this is me. I'm not talking for anybody else's experiences. How long could I continue doing what I was doing and realize that the people that really love me and care about me are giving me all they have? Don't I owe it to myself to show them that I can do this? That the person,
the potential that they see in
you, they see, right?
You
exactly,
need to see for yourself.
Bro. Exactly. And what an amazing journey, brother.
Right.
To be able to look back and say, hey guys, I couldn't have done this without you.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just like you when you're management or supervisor, you can look at a person, a worker, and be like, man, the potential out of that worker.
Right.
He could be management material.
Right.
He's got a bright future. You can see it.
Yep.
But he's slacking.
Mm-hmm.
Coming in late, leaving early, calling out every week and stuff. But you see the potential and it aggravates you.
Yeah. It's frustrating.
Right.
It's very, very frustrating.
And you go tell them, be like, hey, listen, you're a great worker. I don't understand why you're so lazy, though.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you could be lazy and still be a good worker.
Absolutely. Right. But making them realize that, and then now
you can't force somebody to realize something that they don't want to see or they don't want to happen for themselves.
Right. And the choice is theirs at that point.
Right.
They can either say to themselves, yes, I identify that and I want to make myself better.
Right.
Or they can be like, screw you.
Right.
You know, I don't care what you say. This is who I am. So those are your choices.
Mm-hmm.
And ultimately, if I care enough to reach out to you, it's kind of like, hey, can you just try?
Right.
Can you just try? And it's frustrating when you care about people and you invest so much in them and they just continue to do the same shit over and over and over again, brother. And at what point do you say, I can't anymore?
Even friendships.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Friendships.
Your friendships could be toxic like that too.
How far do you go with that, brother?
Right. Like
How far do you take it?
I always say I'd rather have 4 quarters than have 100 pennies.
Mm-hmm. It's true, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'd rather have those 4 true friends.
Yep.
Than have 100 of them that are just
right. Because those 4 care about you.
right.
They love spending time with you. They want to be with you. Those 100, it's kudos, a good time.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't know anything about me. You don't know what my situation is. Nothing.
Are they going to be those 4 friends are going to be with you through the thick and thin, and like you for who you are.
Yeah.
Those 100 pennies. Once you're going through a bad time.
Yeah.
And then when you see them again, hey, how you doing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw that you would, yeah, that stinks, man. He goes, oh, I'm glad for you. You turn your life around and stuff. See you later.
Yep.
Oh,
that's it.
where were you?
Yeah, where were you?
Yeah.
It's true. No, it's true. It's true.
By the way, Bobby, I got this thing at my house. Do you think you could come take a look at that?
There you go. There it is. Right there.
There it is. I need you for something.
Absolutely. And it was funny, Joe, because you mentioned that.
A lot of friends that
oh, yeah. A lot of friends, bro. People
once their need for you is no longer useful.
Gone.
See ya.
Gone. Or that first time you say, well, I can't. I've got some other things I got to do.
Yeah.
And that's it. They're gone. They're gone. It's true. They're gone. True story. Someone close to me, every time the phone would ring, I'd actually look at it and go, because I knew it was going to be some request to do some type of favor for a situation. So what happened? I stopped answering the phone.
Yep.
Like, I love this individual. I love talking to this individual, but I know that every time I talk to you, you're going to end up asking me for something. So what happens at some point, I'm not going to answer the phone because, maybe I'm busy.
You always want.
And I'm always assuming.
You never call.
Yeah.
You never call and say, hey, Bobby, how you doing? Hey, I'm having this cookout. You want to come over?
There you go.
Hey, you want to go grab breakfast?
There you go.
Want to go grab lunch?
There you go.
It's always, hey, Bobby, I got this.
Yep.
Hey, Bobby, you think you could do this for me?
Yep.
Bobby, you think you could do this for me?
Yep. Every time.
Never been a call to just say, hey, Bobby, how you doing?
It's true. It's true. And I've always said that to myself that, gee, I'm grateful that I have the ability. You know what I mean? I have that ability. I've been gifted with that. I'm so grateful for that because to me, it brings me happiness to do things for people. Dude, I love doing things for people.
Right.
But I love doing things for people because I want to, not because I've been guilted to. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, granted, there are exceptions. My mom, my kids, certain people in my life that, look, I am your guy. Like, whatever you need, whatever time of day, if there's a leaky pipe, I'm coming for you. It's those it's the others that, I'll call you for a favor, but I won't call you to find out how you're feeling and how you're doing. And even in my situation, Joe, and what I've been through, none of those people called. Yeah. None of them called,
Right.
None of them called.
That's when you find out who your true friends are.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny because the closest people that are to me now are the ones that were the furthest from me because I had pushed them away.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't spending time with any of them. I wasn't talking to them. And I've had an opportunity to, rekindle a lot of relationships. My friend Kevin, and I have never been in a better place, brother.
Yeah.
I swear to God. It's just, you and I, continuity, Gary, continuity, like that never changed. And Gary was like you. He was relentless.
Mm-hmm.
Relentless. What are you doing? And you know what? I was told a lot of things that I didn't want to hear, but I'm so glad you guys would just...
Right.
Because I needed to hear them.
And that's why some people reach out to me. I'll tell them.
Yeah.
Flat out. I'm not picking sides.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
You having a relationship problem?
Yep.
Oh, really? Well, why is she doing that to you?
Mm-hmm.
What did you do to make her?
There you go. Right.
Or what did he do to make you?
Absolutely. Yeah.
There's 2 sides to every story.
2 sides to every story.
Right. So you got to figure out, you could agree because you're friends.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But do you want to find the solution?
Right. Right. And a lot of times,
you want me to just tell you what you want to hear, or do you want to hear the harsh truth?
Right.
and fix your problem.
Right. Right. And sometimes people, they don't want to hear it, but they need to.
No.
And unfortunately, you know, again,
Right.
and again, I keep using myself as the example here because I don't want to talk for anybody else. You need to hear those things.
Right. Sometimes you just need to hear. You don't need that yes friend.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need that friend that's going to be true to you and tell you how it is.
Those are those 4 quarters right there, brother.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because me personally, I'm thinking of you right now, and I had the one person that was brutally honest, brutally honest with me. I had the person who was super, super compassionate and caring. I had the person that was logical. And then I had the person that was just my friend.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those 4 key components. And having those 4 key components was such balance for me.
Mm-hmm.
But the one that probably had the most impact was the ruthless one.
Yeah.
Because everything she said hurt.
Yeah.
Hurt a lot.
But you
And
needed to hear it.
I needed to hear it.
Reality check.
I needed to hear all of it, bro.
Right.
And that literally changed my course of where I was heading. I couldn't accept those comments until I realized what I heard from the ruthless.
Tough love.
Yes. Yeah. Because understanding your shortcomings is probably step number 1. And then from there, you can realize, okay, these are the things, this is what I was doing wrong. And this is where I need to go. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so here I am, bro.
Just like in life right now.
Yeah.
Right? If you
Yeah.
really look at it,
Yeah.
tough love.
Yeah.
What are we not doing to our children?
Yeah.
We're not giving them tough love.
No, we're not.
So what are they doing?
Yep. It's true.
They're coming out and they're just being ruthless and
Mm-hmm.
you know, they're just
Yeah, there's no empathy, bro.
there's
There's no compassion.
no
There's
compassion,
none.
there's no
Nope.
there's no respect.
None. Yeah, you're right.
We had ruthless parents.
Absolutely.
You know, there was no
Nope. Yeah, no sugarcoating it. This is the way it
No,
was. This is
you
the way
messed
it was.
up.
Yeah.
take your responsibilities.
Absolutely.
Now you're going to take your punishment.
Yep.
That's life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's amazing, bro. And here we are.
Yep.
And
Now
here we
you
are.
get everything that these kids growing up
Yeah.
thinking everything's given to them.
Yeah, well,
It's crazy.
yeah. You know what? Maybe that's the next one. We talk about the state of the kids, and because I was even talking about it over the weekend and just realizing that a lot of these parents, and I think the funny thing is, because we were talking about COVID, and we just kind of talked a little bit about COVID, and you know the lockdowns and everything. Because you see now 4th of July, like you're seeing people that you haven't seen in how many years, right? And we were talking about it, and I said to myself, and I actually came to me when I was driving, and I said, you know what? What we experienced as adults, like the lockdowns, not going to work, all those things.
The kids experience it worse.
Well, that's my point. What we experienced was just a test run.
Right.
What the kids experience is what they're going to be faced with, say 10 years from now, when they have kids and they're adults and they're doing this. Are they going to be mentally strong enough, or are they going to comply because of all those parents, all those teachers that poison them into believing that they should comply and they should shut down and lock themselves up and have their kids sit behind a computer and not learn anything? How did that help them? And I believe that us, me and you, this generation, we were able, and we still had enough strong people to be like the gym owners, right? The people that were like, screw you, the Steve Silvestris of the world that were like, there's no way you're even getting close to me with that needle. Like, there's not happening. You know what I mean? We had those people. Do those people exist in our children right now? And unfortunately, brother, I don't know that we can. So what I guess the reason why I'm saying this is, if you're a parent and you have a young child in your life, whether they're 14, 15, 16, whether they're 9, whether they're 10 years old, your obligation is to instill the strength in them to make the best decision for themselves and the people around them, and never make them realize, because I made this mistake, Joe, I allowed someone else to dictate what my kids were learning and consuming. I did.
Right.
I did. The school board, the teachers.
Right.
I was going to the parent-teacher conferences. I was having these conversations.
Why are they having this?
Right.
They should stick to the textbooks.
Absolutely.
That's my thing.
Yes.
Listen, teach my kid how to write.
Yep.
How to read.
Yep.
How to do math.
Yep.
Teach them science.
Yep.
Teach them history.
Yep.
I don't care about your personal belief.
Yep.
Right?
Thanks for being here, Steve. We appreciate you, buddy.
I don't care about your personal beliefs, what you want to do with your personal life.
Yep.
Don't instill that on my kids.
Yep.
That's what the parent's for. A parent
Absolutely.
is supposed to raise.
Yep.
You're not raising my kid.
Mm-hmm.
All you're doing is teaching them, getting them ready for life.
When did it change the idea that let kids be kids? Right? How do kids learn? Right? Kids learn when they're happy. Kids learn when they're in an environment that they feel that they could be inclusive, right? Like they can say or speak out loud. When did that all change where we actually are forcing our kids to learn things? We're instilling and forcing ideas onto them. Look, I'm all about,
because they want change.
Yes.
They want because they know they can't get all of us on board of whatever their agenda is.
Let me quick one for you. Like I'm kind of short on time. If when you were a kid and it was gym, right, and we're playing dodgeball. We're going to play dodgeball.
Oh yeah.
And the gym teacher says, okay, all the Portuguese kids go over there, all the German kids go here, all of the Native American kids go over here, and all of the Asian kids go over here. Okay? And then we play dodgeball. So the Portuguese kids are against the Asian kids, the German kids. Like, how does that all work? What are we doing to our kids?
Right. We're pinning each other against each other.
Right? Immediately, right? So I make it's pretty obvious when I say that out loud like that, right? You hear it and it's pretty obvious. But what about when you do that and you don't even realize it's being done? What is it when you have conversations with your kids about certain groups of people, regardless of their race or their sexual preference?
Right.
You're isolating them. You're creating pockets of people. Why not just say, hey, kids, here's the big red ball that really hurts a lot.
Yeah.
Here it is. Pick your teams.
Right.
Go and play. Go and play dodgeball. Right. Go and have fun. It doesn't.
That's too much freedom.
Well, that's freedom, brother.
That's because they're free thinkers, and they don't want free thinkers.
And that's the problem.
They're raising robots.
So to me, the reason I bring that up is because if you're a parent, that's what you need to be sensitive to, because that's what's happening. It's happening in a manner where you think, well, it's important to have CRT. No, that's a lie, because we're all here, and regardless of race, color, or creed, I have many friends, many people that I love dearly, and I love them because of who they are, not because of what they are. And
look at the playgrounds. Just look at the playgrounds. The kids are all playing with kids. Doesn't matter.
They don't care.
They don't care what race, what.
You know when they care?
If they're a girl or female. Well, I don't know. Sometimes the boys they like to pick on the girls, but that's normal. But they're not choosing friendship based on their religious beliefs, the skin tone, or the.
They have no idea.
They don't care.
They don't care.
And that's the way the rest of the world should be.
Absolutely.
Who cares?
Absolutely.
Because you can learn a lot from everybody.
Yep. Would you buy a house in a neighborhood if they told you, listen, no matter what, you have to get along with your neighbor. You guys got to be friends.
Yeah.
To your left and to your right, you don't have a choice.
Right.
You got to be friends, whether you like them or not. Dude, would you buy that house?
No. That's before even looking at the neighborhood or who my neighbor is.
I go find something somewhere else.
Right.
Maybe I go live next to Joe, and maybe I go live. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. People don't even realize that that's how it's being done. If kids aren't told these things, they don't give a shit.
Right.
They don't care. And I'll say this again, and I'll just say it once. Racism is dying. Racism is going away. Do you know why it's going away? Because there's a generation that's dying. There's a generation out there, Joe, that I hate to say it out loud, but you got a boomer generation. You got an older generation that, you know what? Racism lives.
Right.
Brother, our generation, we don't see it. I don't see it. And I maybe I don't speak for everybody.
Right.
But everybody that I know, everybody that I surround myself with, they don't act that way. They don't present themselves that way. If you're coming to my house, if I invite you to a party, you might meet anybody, brother.
Right.
There might be everybody here.
Right.
Like it doesn't. So
race, creed, doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
What
I don't say that we forget it. I don't say that we always need to know. We always need to remember. We always remember. World War II.
History always repeats itself. If you don't understand it.
Absolutely. Remember the wars. Remember all the things we went through. All that's important. It's really important because today's 4th of July and we really want to talk about these things. Like we can't forget our past.
Right.
Because that's what shapes our future. But by the same token, when we segregate and we isolate, and I always say this all the time, that's where the danger is. Stop it. Well, you don't need it.
What they're doing is they're doing it. It's great for them. These, I don't know what you want to call them. Whatever. Politicians, both sides, striking fear and putting people against each other.
Yep.
It's the greatest thing that they've ever done.
That's it.
Because if they can divide the people, then they can run the country.
Only way, dude. It's the only way you can win.
First, it was what? Black lives. It was black versus white.
Yep.
All right, that got over.
Yep.
Oh, look at
Forever they did that
vaxxed
shit.
versus unvaxxed.
Yeah.
Now it's women versus men.
Yep. They just keep doing it.
And they keep the dividing people.
It was the black and the Asian, like there for a while, right? Like,
Right.
Why was it like? And again, and that's
division. You don't need
It
division.
is, yeah.
We
You
need
know-
everybody to come together.
one piece of advice for today that I need to take: shut the news off.
Right.
That's it.
Being manipulated.
Yeah, I was talking about over the weekend. Remember who owns the news?
Right.
These billionaires, these zillionaires.
Ask yourself this one question: how come you saw the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp case all over TV, but you never heard about the Epstein?
Nothing.
Why?
Not a single word.
What
bro.
is that list?
Not only that,
Who's on that list?
and R.
I
Kelly.
can guarantee you a whole lot. Yeah, because America has a problem with pedophiles.
Mm-hmm.
They love it.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason, all these politicians, I'm telling you, these high-powered people,
Yes,
all on Epstein's Island.
sick.
Why isn't that list coming out?
they're sick. Well, because they're controlling. They control the news. Because it's the Fox, it's the CNNs, it's the MSNBC, it's the people who run these organizations.
Nobody's asking that question. I want to know
Yep.
who was on that list.
Yes.
What politician, because they need to go.
Yep.
They need to go to jail.
Yes.
What celebrities?
Mhm.
They need to go.
Yep.
They need to go to jail. It's a lot of high-powered people being protected.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just think about it. Just open your mind and go,
Right.
who cares about the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case?
Nobody. Dude, nobody.
And why did Maxine only get, what,
Yeah.
20 years?
Mm,
And R. Kelly gets 30.
30.
She done far more than what
Of
R.
course.
Kelly did.
Of course.
She gets to-
Of course.
She ain't gonna.
Dude, and she won't even see a day. She won't even see a day. They'll put her in some resort somewhere that they call jail. You know what I mean?
I don't even think that. I think she's gonna suicide herself.
Yeah, well. Yeah,
Right.
her and Tupac and Biggie Smalls are going to be hanging out. It's, bro, and again, we only bring this up because it's the reality of it. And
Right.
I hope, I hope this episode today was, we're an hour and a half in. I hope that this episode was receptive to everyone because this is important information
Right.
for everybody. And ultimately, the end goal here is that if you make a better version of yourself, that means you can help your community. You can make a community stronger.
Right.
And if you can make a community stronger, that makes America better. It all starts with you. I think people forget the fact, oh, do you recycle? Nah, what am I? One guy, I'm not going to make a difference. Yes. 10 guys make a difference.
with
2 guys
one.
make a difference, but it starts with one. You can't have 10 without one. You can't have 100 without one. You need that first one. And if we don't apply ourselves to be the best version of ourselves every single day, we lose.
Mhm.
We all lose. You lose, I lose. You know what I mean? Like the community loses.
Right.
Like, what are you doing with your spare time? Why not go coach a baseball team? Help some kids who right? Maybe go help, your local food pantry. Maybe spend a little time just helping people.
Right.
Whatever that may be. I go out of my way. Like, people need something. I want to help them. I'm handy with things. And,
Right.
oh, my neighbor will, hey, listen, my sister's computer's broken. Okay. When you want it? I don't know. You let me know. Okay. Tomorrow morning.
Mm-hmm.
Really? Yeah. I'll pick you up. We'll go. And that's what I did. Why? Because I want to help people.
Right.
I want to do a little bit that I can. Granted, it's a whole lot. I'm not changing the world, but, one person at a time, Joe.
Right.
It's one person at a time, bro.
Nobody's successful in life without help.
Yeah, you need it. You need it.
Right?
Yeah, you need it. And you know what? I think you need it because it feeds something inside you. Because, when you do something good for people, it's a feeling you can't explain and you want to do more of it. It's almost infectious. You know what I mean? And then when I walk away from people and people say things like, someone said some kindest thing on Friday. And someone asked a question about me and someone said, Bobby Kudo? He's the most mechanically inclined person I've ever known. I was like, that wasn't me asking. That was a conversation that took outside of, and to hear that somebody would say that unsolicited about me, bro, that's.
Yeah.
So.
Hits, generates.
Yeah, man. It does.
Knows you're making a difference.
It does. It really does. It does.
Right.
Because sometimes, dude, you feel like you're not. And
Right.
when you have that validation that you are, not that you're looking for it, but it's fuel, dude. And I want more of it. I'm addicted
You could do that in relationships too.
Yeah, yeah.
By the way,
Yeah.
just to say, every once in a while, just tell your loved one how much they appreciate it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because
Right.
it's a struggle. You do it together. You know what I mean?
Because you lose sight of that.
Yeah, you do.
You know,
You take it for granted. Take it for
like
granted.
sometimes I'll joke with my wife and I'll be like, "Oh," I come home and I'm like, "Oh, house is it's not as clean as I thought it was going to be when I got home," and she'll look at me and she'll.
Right.
But I'm just joking with her.
Right.
I'm
Of course.
it's my way of just joking around
Absolutely.
and
Right. And
making
it gets
light
to
of the
her.
situation.
Yeah, right.
But every once in a while I'll come up to her and I'll be like, hey, seriously, thank you.
Yeah, you're pretty
Thank
amazing.
you for cleaning the house.
Yeah. Thank you for putting on my shit.
Right.
If
you're going to put up with me.
And thanks for
thank
dealing
you.
with our kids, too. You know what I mean? Because that's not easy.
Yeah.
So, Joe, I don't know if we can go much further, but we've got an hour and a half. We're going to take a lot of time for people. Anything you want to mention? Or
I just want to, say, you have sunrises to catch and dreams to achieve. You have a purpose here. You matter.
Cheers, bro. Beautiful.
Dude.
You matter. That matters, dude. It's important.
Somebody needs to hear that.
Yeah. So, and if you didn't hear it, go over and follow Joe Costa on Facebook, and go read some of the amazing things that you write, brother, because it's life-changing, brother. It's mind-altering and life-changing, and I say that from my own personal experience. And
it's all about perspective.
Yeah, it really is.
It really, I'm not
really
perfect.
Is. Yeah. Who is?
I can still get upset at stupid things and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's perfect.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. So, some suggestions. If you haven't read so, go and read 13 Things Mentally Strong People Don't Do. That is a must read. If you're even considering making any changes in your life, or if you're just not sure, go read that book, and I will tell you with certainty that it will either just convince you, or you're going to realize that, hey, I'm good, and I'm just going to continue doing what I'm doing. Because I've talked to people who have read the book and been like, yeah, I couldn't relate to all of it, but reading it was really eye-opening for me. So it gives you so many things, and if you can, 75 Hard, give it a shot. Go and check it out. Andy Frisella, Real AF Podcast. Go check it out. It's episode 208 if you really want to know the details about the 75 Hard program and what it means and how it could change your life the way it's changed my life. And I'm 33 days in, and I'm looking forward to the next 42 until we reach the end, where I believe I'll probably go into phase 2 and then maybe phase 3, which is a couple of other things that we can talk about another day. But if you haven't done so already, everybody, please go over to thebobbycudoshow.com. Shoot me an email, thebobbycudoshow@gmail.com, and of course support the Patreon. Without the Patreon, none of this works, because you got to fund this masterpiece, right? So we need any help or any support we can get. Patreon, you can go right through it. If you go to thebobbycudoshow.com, the link, it pops right up. Just click on it. $2 a month to subscribe to the show. 6 cents a day. 6 cents a day to hear this amazing information. And we're doing great things, Joe, and I think we're touching people. People are receptive. People want to be here. We had some great audience participation today. Jen, thanks so much for calling the show. I really appreciate it. Joe, if you don't have anything else, brother, I just want to say happy 4th of July to you and your family, bro.
Happy birthday, America.
Happy birthday, America. And I hope you all have a cookout today, or you're going to be with family members today, and just, be smart, be wise, be careful. One too many, can get you in trouble. So be smart about that, all right? So thank you, everybody. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate you staying for the duration of the show. I always appreciate you, and I appreciate your message. So thank you all, and always remember that all roads lead here.